touching the lives of local people every day.
Hello, welcome back. This is Business Extra. Tonight we're looking at Norfolk's business prospects for the quarter. Every 3 months the Norfolk Chamber of Commerce speaks to businesses all across the board, seeing how they're seeing things shaping up and how busy their order books are looking. I'm joined tonight by representatives from the Chamber and people representing the manufacturing and service sectors too. We'll be getting an idea about how things are looking and what it means for us consumers too shortly. But first, let's catch up with this week's business headlines.
Thanks, Neil. Let's start with the housing market and reports it could now be stalling in our region. That's according to the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. Their survey revealed that both new buyer inquiries and sales are slow, while the number of properties coming on the market in the east has also dropped. It also found 43% of surveyors had seen a fall in the number of people hoping to sell, while 10% more estate agents said they had seen a fall in sales. It comes as figures released this week by the Office for National Statistics showed the average UK house price has increased by £12,000 over the last year to reach a record £218,000 in February. The free Wi-Fi area in Norwich is being extended to take in more of the city centre. The Business Improvement District first started funding the idea in December 2015 to help people stay connected in the city. It already goes from Chapelfield Gardens to Norwich Castle and covering St Andrew Street and Surrey Street, but now also includes London Street and into the lanes. 100,000 people have used the free Wi-Fi since it was installed, and the daily usage has more than doubled in the last 12 months. And with Easter Sunday just a couple of days away, it's the end of one of the busiest and most profitable periods of the year for one Norfolk business. Fakenham-based Kinnerton has produced around 16 million Easter eggs for supermarkets across the country. Among its latest creations are Marks & Spencer's range's Alfie Rabbit, which it produced 15,000 of a day in the run-up to Easter, and Bendy Bob, the supermarket's egg with legs and arms. Those are your business headlines. Back to you, Neil.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Those were your headlines for the week. Let's now turn our attention back to the Norfolk Chamber of Commerce's quarterly economic survey. My guests tonight are Jonathan Cage, who's president of the Norfolk Chamber and MD of Create Consulting Engineers. Jamie Brown, operations manager of Britannia Fire, who's representing the manufacturing sector, and Adam Vass, general manager of Benedict's, representing the service sector, of course. A very good evening to all of you.
Hello.
Now, Jonathan, I'll start with you. Let's have a look at an overview of this survey. How are things looking for this quarter?
Well, I don't think there's any surprises in looking at results, actually. With everything that's going on out there in the big wide world at the moment, especially to do with Brexit, there is a surprisingly, if you like, show of lack of confidence all of a sudden. Not a major one, it's just a slight dip, and I think people are just a bit uncertain of the business conditions for the future, and we know that's the case because none of us know what that's going to be.
Well, I remember sitting here 3 months ago and things were actually looking surprisingly positive. I think there was a certain air of surprise. Is this maybe a bit of a reality check for you?
I think, oddly enough, though, the results show there's a lack of confidence in the future, but all the results also show that both sectors are really busy. So output has increased. So I think that is probably a follow-on from what we talked about last quarter, and now all of a sudden, I think with Article 50 actually happening, that has actually made people slightly more concerned. So it's going to be interesting how this next quarter pans out that we've got coming up, and see if if you like, the scale of operations work that's going on with the various different companies carries on, because I don't think there's a lack of orders coming in. It's just the confidence level to make future business decisions. So
things have maybe started to get a little bit real. Jamie from Britannia Fire, looking at the manufacturing side of things, does that sound like an accurate representation of maybe what you're seeing and what you're seeing across the sector?
Yeah, it does. We've seen when Brexit happened last year, did create uncertainty which went through the year. But what we found is with the pound weakening, which has created an uncertainty, but has also created opportunities. So there are opportunities out there. We've certainly seen our export business increase, which is great. But I think it's also made it's made companies difficult to plan as well, because they simply don't know what the future holds.
And looking at the service side of things at Benedict's, I guess the pound in people's pocket, that's the real indication. How are things looking in that sense?
Echo what both my guests have said, that it's the uncertainty. I think we can see that it's still constantly busy. People are coming in, but it's just, you can tell that it's just there, that uncertainty, what's around the corner. And the same for us is, can we take that push with extra staff? Can you take that training, etc.? Because is it going to just take that dip in the future? And that's constantly at the back of your mind. It is that uncertainty.
What does the future hold?
Yeah, not just for us, but I think it's the same for the consumer that's coming in.
So I guess for the people who are coming in, if you feel happy enough to go out and get a nice meal or something like that, that is a key indicator about how confident you feel about the money you have in your pocket. When it comes to numbers, people coming through the door, how much money they're sticking behind the counter, I suppose. How are things shaping?
At the moment, it's looking good. The orders, as I say, people are coming in, guests are coming in, and in the future, bookings are looking great. And you're seeing even down St Benedict Street, we've had a couple of new restaurants that have opened just recently. So I think that's an indication, certainly, of what's happening in Norwich, that the confidence in terms of people coming, individuals coming out, is good. But
that often happens, doesn't it, when you've got concerns or confidence knocks, people spend on discretionary items, so they'll have their hair done, they'll go out for a meal and things like short-term spending.
Yes, yeah.
Big capital expenditure is the thing that's going to take the hit, because if as soon as confidence goes, then people aren't going to want to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of pounds on major capital expenditure if they don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years when you're talking a payback period. And that's going to be, if you're into making that item, that's going to be a bit of a concern for you, because you will start feeling that soon. Most of our businesses who are maybe dealing service side of it won't necessarily feel that yet, but it will knock. And I think so. It's interesting you're exporting, which is I think really good. So
we are. So about half of what we do is half the fire extinguishers we make are going outside the UK, which is it's a great story for Norfolk.
Yeah, but with the impact on the pound, I guess a business such as yours would be one of the people who would feel that impact if you are exporting. Has it made a real obvious difference?
It has. I mean, we essentially, with the way the pound is, we're offering a substantial, nearly 20% discount on buying from Britain. So, and buying a quality product as well. So it's, but yeah, we have seen an impact, and we're still extinguishers, and our products are going to Japan, Korea, all around the UK still. I'm listening to what you're saying, Adam. I wonder whether people think that we should be uncertain and that the Brexit's uncertain, but actually
sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, and I think we all just need to be a bit careful and still do our day jobs and keep picking up the phone and keep making nuisance for self, and otherwise, it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So if we look a bit further forward, Jonathan, looking ahead to the next quarter, I suppose, do you expect this to continue from what you see and what you're hearing from businesses across Norfolk?
It's always been an interesting quarter, because the second quarter of the year is often the busiest one. You've got over Christmas, you're not in the summer holiday period, so it's a time when people make their money often. And I think actually that confidence, if we get to the next end of the next quarter, we'll still be talking about confidence, because we will be for the next 18 months. But actually the results will still be relatively positive, I think, because we're all still looking at being busy over that period of time. So I think the end of this year is going to be a little bit more interesting. So because that confidence issue will start knocking in to people's business decisions more. So I think that's when we will see that come out.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. That's all the time we've got for tonight, but do remember to drop us a line with your thoughts and your business stories too. You can find us on Twitter @MustardTV, and you can also get the latest news by subscribing to our YouTube channel too. Business Extra back same time next week, but for now, thanks for watching and have a very good night.
touching the lives of local people every day.